Welcome to the Archive Network. I'm Aurelius, and with me as always, Malik. We curate the Creed archive. Today, we open a new file, Ahmadiyya. Malik, you've had this one on your desk for a while. In the late 19th century, the British Empire tightened its grip over India. Amidst this backdrop, a quiet revolution was brewing in Punjab. It wasn't just about colonial power. It was a time of fierce religious debates. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad emerged as a key figure, shaping a movement that would soon reach far beyond his homeland.
Aurelius, you frame this as a revolution, but it's important to recognize the ground realities. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was born into a landowning family in Qadian in 1835. He wasn't just a passive participant. His life was shaped by the tensions of colonialism, religious fervor, and the complexities of identity in a rapidly changing world.
You're right about the context. But let's take a moment to consider the public debates in Qadian and throughout Punjab. They were not just occasional events. They were woven into the fabric of daily life. Print shops buzzed with activity, churning out pamphlets and religious discourses at an incredible rate. Ahmad didn't merely stand back and watch. He jumped into the fray, engaging directly. His writings took on both Christian and Hindu reformers, challenging their ideas and sparking lively discussions.
It's really important to understand that Ahmad's role went far beyond just academics. He was genuinely fighting to defend Islam's message in a world that was rapidly changing around him. His call for moral reform and rational thinking was a direct response to the heavy pressures of colonial rule. This struggle wasn't just about faith. It was about survival, about ensuring that the community had a voice and a place in a society that was trying to push them aside.
The formal beginning of the Ahmadiyya movement took place in 1889. A group of devoted followers recognized Ahmad's spiritual authority and gathered in Qadian. They established practices that would become central to their community, such as Jalsa Salana. This annual gathering not only strengthened their bonds but also marked a shift towards modern organizational structures. For any religious community, this was a significant evolution, reflecting how faith adapts and grows over time, responding to the needs of its followers.
But, Aurelius, this wasn't just a structural evolution. Ahmad's claims really set the movement apart. He boldly declared himself the promised Messiah, and that ignited fierce debates among followers and critics alike. This was so much more than a reform movement. It shook the very foundations of Islamic belief. It questioned the finality of the Prophet Muhammad, which left many feeling unsettled. People were torn between tradition and the new ideas he proposed, and that struggle had real human costs.
Yes. Those claims became defining markers in our history. Other Muslim groups reacted strongly, particularly scholars from Lahore and Amritsar. They contended that Ahmad's assertions directly contradicted established Islamic doctrine. The ensuing disputes spilled into the streets, turning religious questions into a vibrant public spectacle, much like the debates of ancient Rome. We see how the fervor of belief can ignite passions, drawing everyday people into the fray, as ideologies clash and communities grapple with their identities.
Exactly, Aurelius. It wasn't just a debate. It was a fight for legitimacy. Fatwas were issued against the movement, targeting its followers and creating a climate of fear. Even colonial officials got involved, complicating things further. The political implications were profound. The Ahmadiyya movement wasn't merely about faith. It was tangled up with real questions of legal rights and public order. Lives were affected. People were caught in the crossfire, struggling to assert their beliefs in a hostile environment.
And yet, even amidst this turmoil, the Ahmadiyya movement looked outward. In the 1890s, Ahmad's missionaries ventured far beyond Punjab. They preached in both English and Urdu, reaching both Muslims and curious non-Muslims alike. Their focus on rational argument and solid scriptural proof reshaped traditional methods of outreach. They weren't just spreading a message. They were inviting dialogue and challenging norms. This approach allowed them to plant seeds of thought in diverse communities, broadening their influence in ways we still see today.
But here's the challenge. After Ahmad's death in 1908, how would they maintain unity among such a diverse group? The movement responded by establishing the institution of the caliphate. It was a crucial step, but it also exposed some deep-seated tensions. Centralized authority can often lead to dissent instead of harmony, especially when followers come from different backgrounds and experiences. You could see it in their faces. Some were hopeful, while others were skeptical or even fearful of what this new structure meant for their future.
True enough. By 1914, a schism emerged, splitting the movement into two distinct branches. On one side, we had a centralized authority under the caliph, pushing for expansion and influence. On the other, rooted in Lahore, was a faction that leaned towards a more scholarly and contemplative approach. This division not only reflected differing priorities but also highlighted the ongoing tension between personal revelation and the need for institutional continuity. It's a classic example of how movements can fracture under the weight of ambition.
And that tension is what shaped Ahmadiyya's future in profound ways. It wasn't just a religious movement. It was a response to the shifting dynamics of the 19th century. Ahmad's teachings sparked a fire, but what truly mattered was how his followers chose to interpret and live those teachings. Each individual brought their own experiences and struggles into this mix. The legacy they built was rich and complicated, filled with both passion and conflict, reflecting the very human cost of their beliefs.
The early years of Ahmadiyya laid a foundation that extended far beyond the small town of Qadian Doral. Ahmad's unique blend of charismatic beginnings and innovative organizational models was crucial in shaping its global identity. The controversy surrounding his claims didn't just spark debates. It ensured the movement would remain vibrant and contentious. This dynamic nature kept it relevant, drawing attention and followers across continents for decades to come. We can see how these elements create a lasting impact on religious movements.
That's where we leave it for now. Part 1 of 5. Ahmadiyya is far from done. If you're new here, we're Aurelius and Malik, curators of the Creed Archive, part of the Archive Network. Part 2 drops soon.